Well, welcome back, friends. About to head out on just a quick overnight canoe trip with my buddy Dozer and a couple of his young people. I'm just going to go through what I'm taking with me on my trip for an overnight. The only thing it would normally change would just be more food for a longer trip. Pardon me, it's a little breezy today, and there is some maintenance going on around camp, so hopefully not too much interference in the background. First thing I'm taking with me is my Campfire Chair. It's a Marchway folding chair, and it's pretty cool. It has a high back on it. It's a little bit bigger than the small backpacking style chairs, but I wanted something I could actually rest my head on while sitting around the campfire. So that's one of the items. I'll walk over here. The secret papers, always important to take with you. Extra pair of camp shoes, towel. I've got a blanket for the Wonder Dog, who is charging into camp here after out checking her field and seeing what's going on in the wilds. There's a painter. This is as far as canoe gear goes. My painter, it's a rope to hook on the front of the canoe. Randomly, here's my Dutch oven. I had a request from one of the young folks going along to make the infamous peach cobbler dump cake, and I'll be doing that tonight. I've got my Stolquist, or that's not a Stolquist, this is a Lotus Designs personal flotation device. I've had this for a number of years. It's done a lot of sea kayaking. As far as safety equipment, on the river, it's not very exciting. It's pretty shallow, so I usually don't wear the PFD. It is usually behind me in my seat. I do have a whistle, and it's a survival knife. It's a Tool Logic survival knife, and forgive me, I'm doing one-handed operations here with the camera. So it does have a nice blade. I keep it sharp. That's a ferro rod fire steel, and there's a built-in whistle on the end. I also have a Fox 40 whistle. Those are always useful, but those always stayed in my paddling equipment. On the sailboat, I also have a strobe and some other things I wear. I have an inflatable for that, but hopefully I'll get my boat out this summer. A couple different paddle options. I like wood paddles. They feel great. This is a Carlisle beaver tail paddle, and Cav Pro beaver tail paddle. And I'm running a Carlisle bent shaft, kind of a touring paddle. I'll probably take this Carlisle touring paddle, the bent shaft. It does cruise nice with that bent shaft. Some people don't like it. I do. Beaver tail paddle is really nice too. I like the feel of natural materials, so that's one of my favorite paddles. But that bent shaft cruises well when the river's shallow. I can jam it into rocks and not feel bad about it. I have a stadium style canoe seat that I like to put on so I can rest my back. Clothing wise, I'll jump over to clothing real quick. I do have a shirt and a pair of zip offs. These are evening wear for the camp. I just got done coating those with Sawyer permethrin anti-mosquito and gnat spray, and that's part of the deal there. The bugs have been pretty bad this spring, and that stuff works pretty well. It's supposed to last 6 weeks. I can't remember when I first did the first coat, so I just recoated everything today, and it'll be dry, and I'll put it in my clothing bag here. And I'm going to take a quick break, go get my other gear, set it on the table. I did upgrade or downgrade, depends on price-wise. I upgraded to a larger tent just for canoe camping or car camping. I had an old Sierra Designs that finally kind of gave up the ghost. The urethane coating was sticking to itself and starting to tear off, so the tent was no longer waterproof. So that tent, it was over 20 years old apparently when I really looked into how long it had it, so I guess that's a good life. This one's brand new. I've had it up once. It's a Alps Aries 3 backpacking tent. I don't know if I'd backpack it with it if it was less than 2 people carrying it, because it weighs about 5-6 pounds. It's pretty roomy. The fabric that Alps uses is not quite as high end as you get with, Mountain Hardwear, North Face, Sierra Designs. But I think I paid about $120 for it, maybe a little less. It's a 3-person tent, lots of mesh, breathes really well. And we don't do a lot of portaging on this river. Our carries are basically from a van to the river and then to campsite and then out of the river into a van again. So we don't really worry about that. I always carry supplementary stakes with me. My favorite are these MSR groundhog stakes. They are pretty awesome. There's other knockoffs of these. I've had these for a while, but they're a 3-sided aluminum stake. I like them. So I just carry a bag of like 15 of them and just use them for all my tents. Yes, there's stakes in the tent bag, and yeah, it adds a little bit more weight. Something new I'm trying out, I had a old surplus German Army entrenching tool shovel. I saw this 5-joy shovel, and I'm gonna try it out. The handle doesn't fold, so it's fixed, so it's a little bit bigger than the shovel that, gosh, I don't know who it is, Cold Steel makes, that everybody likes. I finished sharpening the edges. This side is pretty sharp. It's a chopping side. I sharpened the front end just to make it dig a little bit better. It wasn't dull, but it wasn't as sharp. I worked on it with a file. This side is supposed to be for like what they advertise it for. You can chop a rock with it. I don't know about that. Thing's pretty stout. It's two-sided. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if I'd backpack with it necessarily, but that's pretty good. Knives of Alaska makes a lot of great stuff. I have this little hunter's hatchet I bought from them. I saw it a few years ago somewhere and just had to have it. It's under $100. It's fairly expensive for what you're getting, but you're getting a handmade vegetable dyed sheath, and it's probably 14 inches long, 15 inches long. It works a lot better than you think it would when you hold it. It isn't real. It's not a stout tool. It's pretty light. I think the wedge shape on the head contributes to its ability to split, but it's basically a little hatchet for splitting wood. I've got a couple of these. This is just a Coughlin's camp saw. I've got other versions. People like their silkies. This thing's like $10. It's not real stout. It's a little flimsy in the blade. It's sharp. It cuts wood. As long as you're not trying to be He-Man, it works just fine. My jungle blanket, got the big one. I'm rocking a Static V inflatable. No ground insulation with this whatsoever compared to a Thermarest. It really isn't meant for cold weather, but I do like it. You don't have to blow it up really, really firm because as the ground cools off, the air contracts. I'm always curious. I see the Summit Sil nylon poncho. It's not my main rain gear, but it's light. I always carry it. Fire bag. I've got some fire starter, fire making, a whole bunch of stuff like that to start a campfire. I've got a platypus and an Evernew water bag. That is a campfire or cookout plate. I think this is Coughlin's. Yeah, it's a Coughlin's. I got it at Fin, Feather, and Fur up in Ashland, Ohio. It's like $5, but it's kind of cool. You hook your thumb in it. I'm going to take that to eat off of. I'm tired of little tiny dishes, so that's my new deal there. It did have on this end, it had like a wine holder on it that stuck out a couple inches, so I smacked that off with a saw and just to make it a little smaller. Let's see what else we have here. A new dry bag. I've had dry bag envy. My buddy Dozer keeps getting dry bags with backpack straps on them. So we're trying to find an affordable, common man, everyday kind of dry bag that I'm not going boundary waters with this. It's not super stout. The nylon on this it's not a super, it's like a 50 or 100 quarter probably style. It's not real heavy duty like a regular backpack strap, but it does have straps on it. It's a true 50 liter. I'd say it's probably a 50 liter pack. It was under $50. I also have a Camp In 50 liter dry bag that I've had for a number of years, and that thing's great. I've got a Sunday afternoons hat that I like, as well as my big straw hat. All right, well, I'm back from a trip. I wanted to continue the gear review of what I'm carrying on a canoe trip. Packing a little heavy compared to a backpacking trip. Temperature's up. It's about 92 degrees out here. It's amazingly humid. Everything's wet feeling. I just did some dishes from the trip and wanted to just show some stuff I've had. Start over here. I usually carry, I like to bang stuff too. I like to make a lot of noise with it. It's a very important part of camping. Okay, so I'm carrying a GSI. This is the plastic insulated cup. Had that a long time. It's good. This is a Guyot Designs silicone bowl. I keep adding stuff, more like bowls for just, it's more cooking related for mixing purposes. Come in handy. I started off with like the backpacking type minimalist for the canoe trips and keep adding a little bit here and there, just trying to refine it. With the Dutch oven cooking, it's nice to have some extra bowls to mix in. I carry a Sawyer squeeze regular size filter. I really haven't had to use that. I haven't done a lot of backpacking lately. I usually carry a lot of potable water with us on the trip. This is the GSI. It's a double bowl set. This one stacks in here. This is my coffee press for my jet boil. And then I carry a measuring cup, a collapsible measuring cup. Folding open country aluminum fry pan. The original that I had, that was probably 20 years old, was a lot stouter than this one, but it seems to work fine. Just some gas. Carrying my jet boil with the bits inside. I do have the pan adapter in there. I didn't want to spend the $50 on jet boil's proprietary fry pan, so I just used the fry pan adapter. It's a little, could be a little bouncy, but you just have to be careful. Don't carry those braces with me, those jacks. Generally don't need those for canoeing. That's just, they were frozen up, so I hit them with the PD blaster. They're sitting up here on the table. Utensil wise, I picked this up off of the Early Riser website, or his site. This is the Human Gear, waha, right side up, the Human Gear fork and spoon. It does, pardon my one-handedness, it does collapse down and hook together like that. It gets down into the dehydrated food pack, which is pretty nice. I don't know if MSR still makes these. They did have a folding set. It's a spoon, does have a measuring cup, has a nice flat edge on it, so you can get into nooks and crannies. Folding spatula, MSR. I don't know if it was Blacklight was the original make of these. I bought these with my MSR Whisper Light stove. The jet boil was a solution to the Whisper Light. The Whisper Light will not die. Anytime anything goes wrong with it, I just add new O-rings and it keeps on ticking. It's just a cheap old Walmart Faberware silicone rubber spoon. That's good for cooking hot, cold. You can eat off of it. And it's a knife I bought a few years ago. It's pretty cheap on Amazon. It's cold steel. It's a Canadian belt knife. There's some awesome loud motorcycles going by there. Canadian belt knife. I've got it scary sharp, and I've been carrying that as just a knife in my canoe kit. It's a good general, kind of a bushcrafty knife. It's a cheap one. Hand wipes. Always carry a little first aid stuff in there. Spice bag. Various Nalgene containers, soap, herbs de Provence, cinnamon, salt, pepper. Another bag, I've got powdered milk in. I think I've got some flour in there, some fire starter, probably a lighter. And I think I've got a couple other old dehydrated things in there that seem to be working okay, or I'm sorry, freeze dried. Then my food bag, which I carry backpacking or anything else, is this bright orange Sea to Summit dry bag. It's been great. I've had it a number of years. I love to support them if possible. Their stuff's pretty expensive, but you're getting pretty good quality. This is what we use as a bear bag when we hang it in a tree, so I've hung it in a lot of trees, and I like the orange color. I got that out at Joe Dodge Lodge in New Hampshire a number of years ago. That's kind of my general canoe camping stuff, and as far as the meals go, and that's about it. Well, back here with the ex officio zip-off pants and that cloud veil shirt that are coated with a permethrin for bug repellency. I'm pretty cheap in general. I don't like to pay full price for stuff. I actually picked those up at Goodwill. I know there's a note on the video about that, but yeah, I just found it, got lucky. I've found a couple Goodwills in the Columbus area that carry where people throw out good stuff, so that's where I go. I'm working this, it's a Terramar waffle top, or waffle print. There is a, I don't know what make or who makes the fabric. I don't know if it's Malden Mills that makes Polar Fleece and all that, but that's a waffle top long sleeve insulating layer. I just carry it with me. I think it's awesome. I've got a Patagucci raincoat with their brand of Gore-Tex in it. It's a few years old. I wear it once in a while. I got it for backpacking. It's pretty lightweight. That's pretty good stuff. Patagucci, as it's known in the little cap. Wool socks, extra pair of skivvies. It's a Walmart dry bag. They're pretty good. I had one of them that kind of sticks to itself, but otherwise for $10 you get 3 dry bags or whatever it is now. Pretty good. So that's about it. That's some clothing stuff to take on the river. Spare layers, rain gear, insulation, long sleeves for sun protection and bug protection, and they zip off into shorts on the pants. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Helps keep the adventure dog happy. She gets really disappointed because we only have about 26 subscribers right now, but hopefully that'll go up. Hopefully the videos are getting a little better over time. That's about it. Thanks for watching.